Hey guys, this is Anthony with Force Fable, bringing you the Force Fable update. I've got with me today Jordan, and for the second episode in a row, we've got Tyler with us. Say hi, Tyler.
Hey, everybody.
Okay. There's you again. Very climactic. This week, we actually wanted to talk about specific moments in games that stuck out to us, and then if we have some time, we can go ahead and add in particular games or gaming moments that had an impact in our personal lives. So with that, I'll go ahead and start. As you all may know, I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan. The older series of games, not the newer series of games, specifically Link's Awakening. For me, this entire game, and I know I've talked about this game a lot in previous updates, but as far as the subject of this particular update, this was the first, and as I can recall, the only Zelda game, and guys correct me if I'm wrong here, but the only Zelda game where you're not saving Hyrule. Hyrule is never even mentioned, and Zelda is only mentioned once in the very beginning. For all intents and purposes, this is probably the only game that does not follow any aspect of the original storyline. And to me, as far as a large moment in game history or in a particular game, that really sticks out to me, because Legend of Zelda had already started a trend with role-playing games, with action/role-playing games, and it already had a pretty decent following at this point in time. So for it to veer away from its already established storyline and already established set of characters was a huge leap, especially for a particularly new IP, which back then it may not have seemed that new. But nowadays we know that most IPs have, most intellectual properties have, one or two iterations, maybe one sequel after that, and then it's considered established. So as far as actual, huge game moment for me, would have to be almost the entirety of that game. Just especially all the way up to the end when you realize that it's not even real to begin with. So not only are you not saving Hyrule, not only are you not protecting Zelda, but you never actually did anything to begin with.
Thanks for the spoiler alert, jerk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you haven't played Link's Awakening, which originally came out for the Gray Brick, then you had no childhood, and I feel no pity. I feel no pity for you whatsoever.
I've only ever played like 3 Zelda games. Phantom, no.
Please tell me one of them was Majora's Mask, so I can ban you from.
No. Wind Waker. And then Phantom Hourglass.
How's Jetpack Joyride again?
That's pretty fun. You know what's sad? I've played this game for a total of like 13 hours, and it's a mobile game where you just do the same thing over and over and over.
I know, I'm fully aware of what Jetpack Joyride is.
Dude,
anyway,
oh,
you played last episode.
So anyway, we're spot on. Link's Awakening. It occurs on an island completely separate from the rest of the world. On an island outside of Hyrule.
Yep. So, but as far as huge gaming moments for my life, there's a lot of games that actually attempt to play with your mind. They either a scare or make you feel emotional, connect to the characters, whatever. But there are very few games with the multiplayer aspect that actually achieve the same thing. Dead Space is probably the most blatantly obvious form of this, but it actually originally started, technically started with Doom, but the game that I'm particularly talking about, which gave me my first scare, was Hexen, which, for those of you who don't know, Hexen attempted to migrate role-playing into the first-person shooter type of games. Role-playing in very basic mechanics. But the particular situation I'm talking about is a multiplayer game between my dad and a really good friend of ours, where I was watching my dad play, and it was a dark hallway that had a very high ceiling. It was in one of those stairwell hallways that goes down in a circle. And I actually remember yelping like a little girl and running out of the room, with my dad being scared as well, but also laughing at my reaction, as that good friend of ours, his character flew across the screen using, I believe they were called either Icarus wings or Pegasus wings or something, but it was the aspect in Hexen, the item in Hexen that allows you to fly. But he had barely glanced across the screen and disappeared into the darkness while attacking my dad, because they were playing Frag Fest, where they were trying to fight each other. That was the first actual jump scare from a video game that I received, and from then on, every time I played Quake, every time I played Heretic, Hexen, Doom, anything like that, I actually looked forward to that response, that jump scare, or that ability a game has to get you so enthralled with it that it can make you jump out of your seat with a simple sound and a flashing of an image or something like that. So, Jordan.
All right. So, for me, not necessarily a similar experience, but also just kind of an experience when a game, was just became extremely memorable for me. And it's probably pretty common, but Mass Effect, the series, just in general, it was really the first time I played a game and I became, genuinely emotionally connected to the characters, where like anytime something bad happened to one of the characters, or you had to make a tough decision, it was not just watching my character in game be torn on the decision. Like it was me in real life, not knowing well, what happens here if I do this. Yep. But that has its benefits, but then this has its benefits, and just kind of, I feel like those games kind of set a new standard for me in what I look for in connection to my characters, because you can say what you want about the ending of the series as a whole, but the journey to that ending is what really made the experience for me. So absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna jump on the Zelda bandwagon here real quick, and not Link's Awakening in particular, but for me it was Legend of Zelda. For me, Legend of Zelda was the first game that had a linear storyline. I mean, you don't get as emotionally involved with Legend of Zelda as you would with, say, Mass Effect, but for me, it was, when you're a little kid playing that game, for me, it was just one of the first games that I was able to be completely immersed in. And it was, the storyline's great, and then on top of that, it was the first game that I can recall playing that had a second playthrough. Now, whereas Mass Effect, you have the second playthrough where you import your character from the first playthrough and you continue on. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it wasn't like that, but you essentially start over. You get to play a different game that is still the same game. It's a different game. It's more difficult. It's harder to play, and I enjoyed that a lot. So Legend of Zelda really sticks out in my mind. But for my favorite game of all time, and this goes back to when I was a really little kid. I think the game came out when I was 2, and one of my cousins introduced me to the game, Blaster Master, back in the early 90s. It was Blaster Master was developed and published by Sunsoft in the late 80s. It's a side-scrolling running gun platform game. Awesome game. And just real quick down and dirty on it. It takes place on another planet called Sophia the Third, near the center of the Epsilon Milky Way. And you're the only survivor of a particular raid of a science academy. And and you have escaped and you have plans to build a new weapon to defeat the Goetz forces. They build an all-purpose tank called the Metal Attacker, commanded by a boy named Kane Gardner, to take the lead in the counterattack. Now IGN actually rated the game a 9 out of 10, but I have to give it a full 10 because to me it is the coolest game that I can remember from that early on in game. Again, this game came out in '88. And there were very few other games that were really on par with it, in my own opinion. I mean, you had Bionic Commando and all those others, but for me, it's Blaster Master, and it will always be Blaster Master.
All right, so this is a little bit of an insight on some of our roots as far as gaming goes. Some of the things that catch in our mind. If you have a particular game that you want to call out, that affected you in a personal way, or if there's a scene from a particular game that really hit, or you just want to highlight a couple of areas in different types of games that you think we are ignoring, go ahead and sound off in the comments below. If you enjoyed what you heard, and only if you enjoyed what you heard in its entirety, then please click the like button. Otherwise, if you did not enjoy what you heard, go ahead and click the dislike button. It's not going to hurt our feelings, just going to let us know what topics to talk about, which ones interest people and which ones don't. But whichever button you click, if you even decide to click a button, still leave a comment down below. Let us know who you are and what you want to hear about next week. So until then, I am Anthony.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Jordan.
And this has been a Force Fable Update. Till next time.